The only thing we have to fear is beer itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters. We're going to bring the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined as usual by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and of course the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
This is a long time coming. It's a live episode. There's a crowd here. They can hear us right now, whether they want to or not. And we're finally here at Evil Genius.
Woo!
It's been 4 years in the making since we first had you guys on the show. It's hard to believe that it's been that long, but that can only mean we have Luke, the Music Man Bowen.
Hello.
Lumberjack and I'm okay.
Shut up, Luke.
Boston, Massachusetts. Hello.
Shut up, Luke.
We're loaded.
Oh, can you send me
Shut
that?
up, Luke.
I'll just keep playing on
Shut
loop
up.
in the office.
Sleep
all the
all
time.
night and I work all day.
Shut up, Luke.
And, of course, international Trevor Hayward.
International Trevor.
Shut up. We're going to get everyone drunk and take over the world. These are all things I would say.
Of course they are, and you did. They're recorded, of
They're all
course.
things you did say.
Well, it's been
Shut up.
forever in the making. Guys, thank you for having us out here.
No, thank you guys for coming. Hell
And-
yeah.
And of
Awesome
course,
to be here.
congratulations on this spot. It's amazing.
Thank you very much.
It's so
Thank
cool.
you.
It's I can't find all the right words to say, and I've had a lot of time to think about it. But it's just so cool. It's a nice environment, cool bar setup, nice decor that's here. You guys have a nice retro vibe, and of course, you're kicking out these awesome beers still. And you know, you have John doing all his awesome stuff in that beautiful brewery back over there. It's just amazing, guys.
Thanks, man.
Congrats.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but we love this space so much, and we just are really happy that we get a chance to have it and share with everybody, too.
I can imagine. Yeah.
What I'm really, really excited for is, so every episode we post on our website, we have like a subheading that says, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so from such and such brewery, or if we're on location, it says at such and such brewery. And every time you guys have been on, it's been from Evil Genius.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we're going to be at Evil Genius.
Oh, for sure.
Which
I'm
is
excited
really
for that.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have done a lot of this stuff without you guys. You've had us on for Philly Beer Week events, which are really cool, and you guys have been on the show countless times. So, I mean, it's really cool to see it all in action finally. So we have a sipping beer, which I'm excited about. What are we drinking, guys?
Drinking Han Shot first.
Yeah,
It's our
Spring
spring
edition.
edition.
spring edition.
So usually we release that in around November, December, and it's 8%. We wanted to do it again because of May the 4th,
Yeah,
but we were like, hey, why don't we try it, do it a little differently? And so we changed up the hops a little bit and brought it down to 6.5%, so a little bit more sessionable.
Air quotes.
Yeah, in quotes. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, we use
depending on who you ask.
Little Wheat and Matsuika and Hallertau Blanc hops. Super fancy.
Super tasty, too.
It is super tasty.
I love
it. Great for a sipping beer, real easy drinking. And I love how, I mean, the weather wasn't too bad today. It was a little cloudy. Thought there might be a threat of rain, but it
held off.
held off.
Yeah,
and
we
we
can
got
make
the bay doors open. It's a nice breeze in here, and great beer to be sipping on.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, of course, we do want to thank Audible for their continued support. audibletrial.com/beerbusters is where you can sign up for your free 30-day trial of your own Audible account, where you get to download, listen to, and keep an audiobook of your choosing. And even if you decide you want to cancel that membership, you get a free book out of the deal. audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
I use Audible.
You use
Yes.
Audible?
Yes.
Nice. I use Patreon, and you should too. So you go to patreon.com/beerbusters to learn how you can help support our podcast. You can donate a couple of bucks to us each time we release an episode, or as little as $1 a month, and you get cool behind-the-scenes perks. You get invited to special VIP events. And we're constantly coming up with new, awesome special treats for our patrons that you can check out. So anybody here today who's never heard of us before, go check out our website, and if you like what we do, go to Patreon, patreon.com/beerbusters, and learn how you can help support the podcast.
All right. There's really only one story that's been dominating all of beer news lately.
What could that be?
Are we
Oh,
gonna
I have
talk
no-
about it?
I have no idea.
Are we gonna talk about
I was
it?
wondering if you guys had heard a little brewery called Wicked Weed has sold out to the conglomerates. I shouldn't say sold out, but AB-InBev has purchased all of Wicked Weed, and it's another one that they're acquiring in their quest to dominate the world, I suppose.
But dominate beer anyway.
Dominate beer, yeah.
You know, what struck me was, obviously this has been all over the social medias and everything lately. And so if the first thing I thought was like, oh shit, like I can't believe that this is happening. And then I thought maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Like this is sort of the kind of thing that just happens in the beer industry now.
I think it's just going to continue to happen. It really is just another strategy of theirs, as they always have, to have as much shelf space or tap space everywhere.
Yeah.
So they can't do it by using just one brand anymore, which is what they obviously traditionally did with, you walk in and there'd be like every different variation of, 4-ounce cans, 20-ounce cans, everything.
Special packaging.
That's not what people are looking for these days. So this is their strategy. It's like, well, if we just own a bunch of breweries, like I don't know this obviously, but I would be surprised if they plan to take Wicked Wheat national. I think it's probably just something that, okay, well, that's the one in this region that we have, or the 10 in this region that we have, and then we have another 10 over here. And I don't know, it's a lot of money to be spending though. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they have good accountants who know more than I do.
I think they know what they're doing, which is...
And it's another in a long line of growing names. I mean, what are some of the other ones? Goose Island,
10 Barrel.
10 Barrel.
I didn't realize Breckenridge too, but 10 Barrel, of course. But it's interesting to see the way that's playing out, and I wanted to get your take on it as two guys who own a craft beer brewery.
Sure.
If somebody from AB-InBev walks up to you guys and offers you, let's just say $500
Are they
million.
here?
500 million?
Yes.
Yeah, goodbye.
No question.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, like, look.
I'd want 6.
Yeah, 501 million. That's my price. No, not a penny less.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. It's tricky because I mean, that's life-changing money.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And then some.
And then some for several generations. Like, it's very hard to, turn that down. And I know a lot of people who have, just for sort of moral reasons, are like, we want to stay independent. The one trick is that, it's very hard. Like Elysian was one, they did that beer, like corporate beer sucks, right? You know what I mean? And then, so if your ethos and your sort of what you're about is very anti, you then can't really, because craft is all about authenticity. Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. But
Everyone has a price, though.
Yeah, and you know what, dude? I don't fault anybody. Like you want to take stupid money, good for you.
Well, and that's always the thing. Like everybody always gets up in arms, and there's there's been a huge backlash with Wicked Wheat. There's been people pulling out of their invitational events. There's been people taking their beers off tap.
Yeah, that's
shelves.
crazy. Like half of the people who were going to that have pulled out. Like
the other
that's
thing
nuts.
too, doesn't it go to charity?
Yeah, it's something crazy. It's like people cut off their nose to spite their face all the time. Like hypocrisy is like, it's very American.
But I give them credit for standing up for their beliefs and what they believe craft beer is about.
Totally.
And that's fine. I mean, and I honestly, I don't know what my opinion about it is. When I first saw about it, I was totally mad. I'm like, that's it. I'm never going to Wicked Wheat ever again. I'm never wearing their swag again. Forget it.
You dumped out all their beer, apparently, that you had?
No,
which...
I'm drinking the beer.
Okay. Kevin lied to us.
Dumping
The
it down her
saddest
throat.
thing ever was Rare Barrel posted a picture of Happy Blending, and it was on the ground being dumped out, and that's literally one of the best beers I've ever put in my mouth. So that was really, really sad. We were just in Nashville the other week, and I had 4 of those beers at the Funkatorium, and it was epic. But then, like, the reports are starting to come out about how much they got, and I'm like, can you blame them? I mean, good for them that they've created a brand that has become worth so much.
Yeah, what was it? What was it?
I heard 600 million. I don't know if that's accurate.
Yeah. Well,
or not.
who
as of this moment, I don't think.
Well, they only did like
actual details
20,000 barrels ish last year, so like 600 million. Like that's way more than Goose Island got. Like
And that
Goose
makes
Island got
you-
like about.
And that goes along with that
They really
they're
only
going to
did
spread it.
20,000 barrels?
Yeah, that was what was in Brewbound. That's what they had, like a little over 20,000. You know what's crazy?
Doesn't seem like a lot.
No, it's not a lot.
No, not
no.
really.
I would have thought that from an InBev perspective that they would want something that was already
Well,
a lot
and I think
larger.
I think that speaks to the point that it's the
Maybe
value.
we will get that offer then.
Yeah, I know. For 600 million, yeah. I mean,
I think it's the value of the brand that is the driving force.
Oh, for sure. It's all
Because
for sure.
everybody knows them, and I
That is
think
true,
a low
yeah.
production volume like that only makes it more desirable.
No, for sure.
in the craft beer world.
Well, you know
That is
who
true.
owned that company, right? Like the actual investors invented Proactive.
Proactive.
And they used to do like infomercials.
wow.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
reading.
yeah.
yeah.
So they're already smart business people.
Exactly,
So they're
yeah.
not
Well,
gonna-
and that's the other thing. Like you always say, like when this kind of stuff happens, and it happened when
If it
Elysian
is
was bought out.
regularis.
Everybody cries foul and says, "Oh, you're selling out." How dare you? But somebody knocks on your door with $600 million freaking dollars.
Yeah,
like,
are you kidding me? I
like,
couldn't
when
triple
you're in
with my
that
feet fast
situation,
enough.
Yeah.
like you could go to Germany and open 5 breweries. you
Yeah.
know,
Well,
and
plus the other thing too is they're probably going to still have a lot to do with the day-to-day operations of the business. If anything, it's more of an expansion deal and a distribution deal, which gets your beer to more mouths.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you have the people who are going to turn it down because of who owns it.
Sure,
you,
but
you got to be aware of where your money goes, but at the same time,
and that's my issue. My
right,
issue
and we've said that
InBev
before,
and what they do with their money,
right?
And I'm not cool with that,
right?
I'm cool with Wicked Weed and the amazing products they're putting out.
At the same time,
a bit of a moral dilemma for me as a craft beer consumer.
Well, let me ask you this: somebody walks up to you with a bottle of Bourbon County Proprietors that had the chilies in it.
Oh,
but
with
the chilies, exactly. It's the one that was only in Chicago. Somebody walks up to you with that. Are you going to drink it? Because you know where the money went.
Goose Island thing, like, it didn't hit me like Wicked. Like, literally, I was at Wicked Weed drinking beers there a week before this
and nobody saw this coming, too. It just totally out of the blue.
Well, that's the kind of question, isn't it? Is it more about the fact that they sold out or who they sold to?
Exactly.
If it was just some private equity firm
that's
that we
true.
didn't
Because
know,
there was
be as upset.
Yeah, like Victory and
Some
Southern
people will
Tier
be,
are
and I
owned
think
by a
that's
private
bullshit.
equity group. Like, it's like, oh, two breweries combined. It's like, no, one, they both got bought by these guys. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just
but it is a different thing. I mean, what really struck me about it is, as you alluded to, Steph, is that we recently published on our website, beerbusterspodcast.com, which you should visit, a list of the top 10 places to go in Asheville for beer.
And I gushed
Wicked
about the
Weed was
Funky
two of them.
Yeah.
And then it was days later that this happened.
Yeah,
and
it's
just like
crazy, man.
Well, there was another acquisition right after that, too. Like, the day after, Lagunitas was totally bought out by Heineken.
50%.
What was the other 50%?
The other
50%,
right.
Yeah.
So that other 50% is now gone, too, but nobody's
he got
really...
$1 billion for that.
I would take
$1 billion. Yeah, it's yesterday.
So if somebody...
Yeah.
I have to think of how I want to word this question. So we all know Jim Cook was apparently beer's first billionaire.
Yeah.
If he had not been worth that money now, do you think he would sell, or do you think down the road he will sell?
Well, it's different. So, like, they're a public company, so it's a totally different, right? So,
which
like,
is
so like somebody would have to come and like totally take them private, or you could have ABI actually just come in with their board, and because you have public companies that get taken over all the time,
right.
like you would have to go to their directors and stuff. But it's crazy, actually. I don't know. It's really hard to say. I mean, I think that what's going to continue to happen is the landscape's totally changed, and it's become more and more difficult. And actually, frankly, like as a craft brewer who goes out and sells in the marketplace, it is becoming increasingly difficult to compete at retail because there is a lot of overcrowding that's going on right now with all these brands. So you have to try to do something to stick out and gain some kind of leverage, and that's what a lot of people are doing now, is kind of combining forces. So there's definitely a lot of that for sure, and there's going to be a lot more too. So we just can't be too surprised and have to understand that it's coming, and what are we going to do?
And at the end of the day, it is a business world. That's all. Your business was formed. I mean, in the craft beer industry, I think we can say it's a little different. Your business is formed to make beer and sell beer and get people to enjoy your product.
Yeah, but you want to
business
make money
overall
too.
Is there to make
Right.
money. Yeah. So if you can make that money in one swift move, like we said earlier, you can't fault them. If somebody walks up to me for $600 million, I would do just about anything you asked me to.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
We're going to remember that.
Show me the check. Show me the check, Trevor.
That has been recorded.
Show me the money.
It doesn't even need to clear?
Well,
I can write a check.
Yeah.
maybe that's the clear.
Give you a check right now.
Maybe it should clear first.
But I think what you're going to see is true independent craft breweries are going to become more and more hyper local.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's how it's going to be. And
Which is cool too, because then you get to serve the local market where people get to, like you guys have this spot here. Local people come out and drink your beer, enjoy the environment. I'm sure you guys have regulars by now.
We do.
And which is awesome. I mean, which I guess kind of goes into talking about where we are.
I wanted to segue
please.
to say. Obviously, you guys have your own space now. You've got your big old beautiful brewery right over there. But speaking about distribution, it's been a while since we talked to you guys. How far are your beers going right now?
Yes, we go to Massachusetts to Maryland, so we filled out all of New England and kind of really been moving there. So 7 states.
Nice.
It's been awesome. And one of the things that we do definitely see, to kind of Dan's point, or I think maybe Wayne, to your point about craft become really local, like when you get out of your sort of local bubble, and you go into retailers, it is all really hyper local beer on the shelves, and that's a good and a bad thing. Like some of it is garbage. Like, just because it's local doesn't mean it's very good.
That's very true.
Amen.
Yeah, so that's kind of part of the trick, and I think what's going to happen is like the pendulum swung. It was like really extreme beers, and then everything was session, and now it's hyper local, and then cloudy IPAs in a can, and then I think everybody's got to kind of come back to equilibrium and be like, hey, is this beer good? I don't care if it's made down the road. Like, is it good? And we just want the best beer in our store.
Yeah, I've been down that road myself, and I'm coming to that point now. If the beer's good, I will drink it. If it's made, if it's local, cool, I get to support a local business. But if it's a good beer, I want to drink it.
Exactly.
I left almost an entire flight on the table last night.
And where were you?
Oh,
I'm not going to badmouth a place on air, but like I had a Goza and it tasted like unfermented wort.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I paid for it and I tipped them well. Good for them, new business. I hope it gets better, but I'm not.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like when you open up, you got to make sure your beers are sellable.
Yeah.
I was at a place sort of local to here that opened up at one point, and I went in the week after they were there, and I'm pretty sure I had an infected beer. So like that's another part of the battle too.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Have you guys making the transition to brewing your own beers as you guys were opening this sort of place? Have you guys run into any hurdles? Is everything sort of transferred pretty smoothly?
Honestly, really smooth.
We've been knock woods. We have yet to have a stuck mash.
Yeah.
We've yet to have had to put anything down the drain.
Nice.
And, yeah, so we've been very, very lucky in that respect. I'm sure it'll happen at some point.
It happens
that's
to
just
everybody.
inevitable.
Yeah.
We lost the beer. We were transferring and
It's
had
kinda
a
funny.
valve.
A valve broke yesterday.
We had 200 gallons of beer spill on the floor. But again, that's
we had to go out and buy the staff socks.
You're really
anyone's socks were wet.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen to everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're really lucky, and I think a lot of that comes down to John, our brewer, just being really good and having brewed for a long time and really knowing.
He's
his
got a
way
pretty
around
impressive background
Yeah,
too.
for sure. Yeah, he was at Earthbread Brewery first, and then he was the head brewer at Tired Hands when they opened. Yeah, so. He loves brewing weird and kind of wacky beers, and we give him a lot of free reign. So he's just been doing it for so long and apprenticed under some amazing people, and so he some of those mistakes that breweries can have. It's I started home brewing and then I bought a 10-barrel system and I'm kind of trying this out for the first time.
Yeah.
It's complete just because you can make it spaghetti and meatballs doesn't mean you should open an Italian
Right.
restaurant.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a totally different thing. So God bless him. I mean, we're not without ours. We had our issues too in life. Everybody gets a chance to move past them, but in this day and age when it's so fiercely competitive, you got to do it really quickly.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the board, I love all these lab exclusives, and for anyone that hasn't been here, they call it the lab here. That has to be really exciting for you guys and for John to now be able to do pretty much whatever you want and do these smaller batches. Talk about the inspiration around some of these unique and crazy beers that you have on.
Well, so the contract model doesn't allow you to do certain types of beers, and there's a whole, without getting into the nitty-gritty of it, the cost structure of beer for distribution versus selling something in-house is so different. So we're able to brew beers here that we're able to put a lot more hops into, a lot more other ingredients as well, and for it to still be profitable. Whereas for distribution, it's just a whole different model, especially through the contract stuff. So it's given us the opportunity to be able to do a lot of different beers that potentially may even be ones that we do for distribution at some point in the future. So it's a great testing ground for us as well. And that's
Hence the lab.
Exactly. Exactly. You got it.
Point for me.
Yes. But what I love being able to do here as well is that if you come in now and you come in 3 weeks from now, chances are 3 to 4 of the beers on the board will probably be different because it's 15-barrel batches, and we've been very busy since we opened, so we move through product pretty quickly too. But the idea is that we want to have new and different things for people to come in and try something different each time that they come in here, which is very, very exciting to be able to do that.
Have you guys thought about doing? You have obviously lab exclusive beers. Have you guys thought about doing any bottle releases, special?
So we don't have a bottling line here, but we do have a crowler machine.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're actually touring with the idea of doing a crowler only release. Probably
nice.
sometime
that's
later,
cool.
in a couple months' time. I know a few other people do it, like Forest and Maine. That's how they do some of their stuff. And I think that would be kind of cool to kind of have an event. Open maybe a bit earlier on a Friday or something and make it a kind of a big deal.
Right.
What I want to do is you saw our little mural garden out here at the back. I want to actually print that on our crowler label.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That'd be really awesome.
Very excited for that.
So how far into the process of putting this building together did you actually get the crowler machine?
It was
Was it one of the first things you did?
No. And they're actually really expensive as well.
Oh, really?
And it was just because our forklift that we bought was actually a lot cheaper than I'd expected, so there was a little bit of room in the budget. And I was like, okay, let's do this.
Let's do the crowler.
I wasn't sure how. I was like, we're going to need to sell a lot of crowlers to justify this, but people love the crowlers.
Yes.
yeah.
I love
Crowlers.
crowler.
Yeah,
I think
crowlers are
every
great.
brewery should have a crowler machine. That's just me.
It's just so
they're
much
very
nicer
cool.
than growlers tend to obviously be the 64 ounce. That's the very traditional. It's kind of a lot of beer, and it's a big commitment to drink it all quickly.
And most people
once you
forget
open
their
it,
growlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, then I don't want to buy another one.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So can you tease some of the beers that'll maybe be coming out in the next couple months or over the summer?
Sure. So, I mean, the other day, John just brewed a peach IPA.
Ooh.
I'm very excited
Oh,
about.
is that the one that I got on your case about spoilers?
Yes, it's called Bruce Willis Was Dead the Whole Time. It's part of our spoiler alert series.
That's awesome.
We have one on tap right now called Everybody Puts Baby in the Corner.
Right.
Or everybody puts Dan in the corner?
Everybody puts Dan.
Hey, I like my corner. This is cool.
Dan has a nice corner right now.
I do. You're right.
Yeah, we have a double dry hopped Imperial Stout, too. We have 4.6% Azaka, just a session IPA only. We got a ton of cool stuff in the back. It's pretty nuts. Like we're really pumped.
And John has like so many different ideas. Like one of the ones that's not on the schedule yet so I don't know when we're going to brew it is like a Snickerdoodle mild.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man.
Do you guys give John pretty much free reign with recipe development, and you just kind of give it the rubber stamp of approval?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we obviously talk about what he's planning to brew, and
Right.
As we all know, hoppy beers are the more popular ones, so
Right.
he's brewing more of those than anything else. But I'd love to do like a few different Hefeweizens over the summer, maybe add
Ooh.
a different fruit to each one.
Right.
I thought that would be really cool to do.
Let me know
so,
when you do that.
like again, I'd love to do a peach Hefeweizen. I think that would be delicious.
Yeah, that'd be really nice, yeah.
So would that be I Love Lamp and just different variations of
Well,
that?
we were joking about this yesterday. I was like, maybe we could name one like
I Love Chandelier.
I like lamp, but I think we should just be friends.
I'm
hate lamp.
I'm relatively indifferent about lamp.
Yeah,
I
right.
Lust Lamp.
Oh, jeez.
I think there's a few different things we can do there. Yeah.
Well, that kind of goes into another category. So John having, the brewery getting to do his cool stuff back there. What about the names? Obviously, they're all pop culture references at this point, which is really cool. I mean, when we had you guys on way, way, way back long ago, it was like the Siren, and it was
Evil IPA.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which were
Hunchback
solid
Hefe.
beers.
Yes.
But I mean, the names lend to the marketing of the business pretty much in a nutshell, and people know them. Like, I know that I can go get Purple Monkey dishwasher, and not only is it a Simpsons reference, but it's a fantastic beer.
Oh, thanks.
It's like, where do you come up with the names?
So at this point as well, because of the amount of beers we're kind of going to be making here and have been, we've been running through a lot of my back stock of names. So we actually have people give us flight cards. We have these little cards that tell you what beers are in your flight, and on the other side is kind of a feedback thing. So people have been like giving us beer names that way. We actually have we use Slack, the messaging service.
Oh, yeah.
As a company, and we have a whole thread just for people to suggest beer names.
That's awesome.
So Everybody Puts Baby in the Corner was actually something suggested by one of our sales rep, Pat.
Good job, Pat.
Yep, absolutely. So there's a variety of different names, and sometimes like we have a whole list of names, and when we go to brew a beer, we go, that one makes sense. So for instance, we'll be trying it later, That Escalated Quickly, which is a triple IPA, biggest beer we've ever made, 11.5%.
Kiwi triple, actually.
Kiwi triple, yeah. When we went to make that, John was like, well, what are we going to call it? Look through the name. I was like, that's the obvious one for an 11.5% beer.
Of course.
It just makes sense.
Now, I've always wondered, with these pop culture names, obviously they're mostly phrases from the movies, but like, have lawyers contacted you at all about them?
No, I mean, we've kind of moved away from like direct quotes in a lot of
Right.
ways. So there's still some in there, obviously. But the way we kind of look at it is that we like doing more references as opposed to the actual...
Like a verbatim copy.
Yeah,
Of
like
Exactly,
Bruce
yeah.
Willis was dead the whole time. Everybody knows what
Right,
that is
right.
alluding to.
Exactly.
Instead
Okay.
of I See Dead People, IPA.
Exactly. I think and that's kind of the difference between the two.
That's the movie. No.
Oh, I get it
Which
now.
the reason I have a gripe against that as the spoiler is somebody spoiled that movie for me way back in the day. I mean, I was in like 6th grade at
I was
the
going to say,
time.
this is like 15 years ago, right?
Yeah. I was in 6th grade, but somebody spoiled it for me, thinking I'm a kid, I'll never see it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna see. I was gonna watch it next week with my mom, and it was ruined for me. That's why I hate
And
spoilers.
you're not bitter about it at all.
No, not in the least.
No,
it's,
yeah.
it's not like it's 18
15 years
later.
later.
I barely remember that at all.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So I know you guys have the beer garden that's next door.
Yep.
And you guys, before this building was open to the public,
Yeah.
you had events that were there, and you were open like every weekend for that. What are the plans for that? I know you guys were saying you were hoping to get that open today, but I know the weather might have affected a little bit of it. But what are the bigger plans for that?
So this year we kind of ran out of time in terms of the development of out there. So this is not kind of its final look, but it's actually pretty nice out there. The weather actually has held off, so it will be open today. And
Yes.
so people can go out there and drink, and we have a bar out there too. So can't get everything that you can get inside here, but we have 6 tap lines out there, so there's a good variation
Still a good
of stuff
offering.
out there. And we're only doing 16 and 20 ounce pints out there, so you won't be able to get like flights and things
Right.
like that, which in a beer garden, people just want bigger beers.
Yeah,
anyway,
that kind of makes
in terms
sense.
of size
yeah.
wise. So.
It's really awesome, and I know we talked to you guys about this, just personally, not necessarily in the podcast, but that this space that you have that sort of empty lot right there to use for that purpose. I mean, that just worked out really well. And you guys were doing events there before this place even opened.
So we actually bought it separately, though. It was a used car lot.
Oh, wow.
And it came around that the guy was looking to sell, and so
How
we
could it be
debated
used-
it for a minute.
How could it be a used car lot? You could fit like 2 cars there.
Well, width-wise, but it's pretty long.
Yeah, still.
They had the place just literally filled
Oh,
bumper
by the
to
way,
bumper.
that's what she said.
Yeah. So last summer we actually used the the way all those used car lots have that little hook thing that is their office space,
Yeah.
Trailer.
like trailer.
Yeah.
So we used that as our office for the summer. It was disgusting. The roof leaked. We called it. It was a hut, so we called it Jabba the Hutt.
Of course.
Of course.
Well, and you guys even had the wacky waving arm flailing
Actually, I was
guy.
just looking.
Conan
He's not, I
O'Brien.
don't think he's out there today, is he?
No, he's in the beer garden.
He's in the car.
he's
All right,
right.
so he is still on premises.
He's been promoted to beer garden status.
I think we need to get another one. People love that guy. We need to name that guy.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah.
You need to name a beer after that guy.
My favorite
You
is
name
when,
that guy.
when he's outside there, he keeps poking his head in the window. It's like,
looking in.
are you open? Are you there? Hi, guys.
So we kind of skipped over sort of the building
building,
itself.
Yeah.
You
So
talked about the used car lot.
Well, I
but
don't think we skipped over. We were coming back around.
we're coming
to
back
it.
around.
So we bought it in October 2015, and it was in pretty poor repair. It was actually, the roof was being held up with scaffolding inside.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
But so we had to repair the roof, and so that took quite some time because it was in pretty bad shape, as I said. But what's been really cool about our contractor and architect is we reuse so much stuff in this building. So, for instance, even that scaffolding, the metal girders that were holding up the roof, we actually reuse them. They're the table legs for all the booths.
Oh, that's cool.
All the tables in here, like the one that you're actually sitting at right now, and all the high tops and the booths is actually the wood from the roof.
That's awesome.
And the footrest underneath the bar is actually one of the beams that was we could not retain in the roof.
Yep.
So
Yeah, this whole building's pretty green too. Like we have radiant underfloor heating, which is super efficient.
wow.
Yeah, so like it really costs us like nothing to heat the building. Like we're not doing forced air, which is nuts. It's all LED too, so if you left every light on in the building 24 hours a day, it would cost them less than $2 a day to
my
power the
God.
building. Yeah, it's crazy
wow.
cheap. All of our cutlery and plates are all compostable as well. They're all like pressed banana and palm leaves.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we do there. And then as of a couple weeks from now, we're going to be 100% renewable energy powered. We're going to do 100%
that's
wind
awesome.
power, yeah.
Good for you guys.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
What was? I guess is that something you guys planned to do originally, or is that just something kind of?
Well, the green thing was all like really kind of part of our ethos, right? Like we really kind of believe in it personally. But not only that, like the technology's come so far where it's like actually affordable. You can actually with the technology, you actually can save yourself money by investing up front in better equipment. Like your ongoing like operating costs are just much lower. Like they really are. So. That's definitely something we looked at, and we tried as best as we could to, we couldn't do everything, but we did a lot to start, and it's more than most.
we're also going to be putting an apiary on the roof.
Oh,
wow.
nice.
Bees.
That's awesome.
So we'll get like I don't know, I can't remember what the figure was, but a certain amount of honey by the end, which we can then use to make a
gonna
beer.
ask you.
Yeah,
That was-
that'd be awesome. That's really
And
cool.
bees are important. We need them.
Yes.
They're really important.
Yeah, bees are
So,
very important.
if you want to eat, you
They're
need
the
bees.
unsung heroes of the food chain.
Oh yeah,
That's an understatement. So what was this building used for prior to you guys purchasing it?
So we're not exactly sure when it was built, but it dates back to somewhere around the 1870s. So pretty old, yeah. We believe it's been the things we know that it was is that I think they used to make carriages here for the railroad, which the railroad depot is on the next block where the Kensington High School is now. Because this area was such big in manufacturing, it was actually one of the biggest railroad depots in the country. So I'm sure they needed lots of carriages for that reason. It was also a cabinet maker at one other point, and then most recently it was auto repair. So they had the contract for like FedEx. So if a FedEx truck got broken down, it would come here. And then I have heard rumors from two different people, so I believe it. The that they used to do raves in here in the 90s.
Nice.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
It really kind of does make sense,
Yeah.
but I'm like, this is obviously prior to everyone having a camera in their pocket, so like,
true.
I'm like, I need evidence. I need someone must have had one of those click, click, twist, twist, twist camera. You know those disposable cameras?
Quick twist, twist, twist.
You guys should totally do like a throwback 90s rave themed.
We've been talking about it.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
That's the plan for sure.
So we talked a lot about the tap room here and the history of the building. I want to know more about the brewing system.
Yes.
And I know Dan and I were here before this was officially open, and we did sort of a quick little tour here at your 5th anniversary party, I believe it was. But yeah, so talk a little bit about the system, where it came from, how big it is, all that good stuff.
So it's a 15-barrel brewing system. It came from Specific Mechanical in British Columbia. We bought it new. They make really good brew. I mean, you have all the German stuff like the Braukons, and those are like the Lamborghinis and whatever. So we have kind of like a nice Audi. So it works out. It's really well made, engineered, and then it runs into a whole series of fermentation vessels, and then we have single-wall jacketed serving tanks basically inside of our cold box. So we just run all of the beer literally like through the wall into the brewery. So the beer that you're drinking was made less than 60 feet away from where it's being poured. So it's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Which that cold box, if I saw right, is the Christopher Walk-in cold box, right? Okay.
Christopher Walken cooler.
Yeah, we had that on the sign at the drop-in too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Nice.
I respect that. There's a lot of awesome breweries that have that picture.
I want to get a little sign that goes on the vent up there that says Bruce Willis goes here.
Well, Levante has the
Vent
Reznor.
But
that's just
Even
because
cooler.
Well-
You know Trent Reznor's dad owns the
he owns an
HVAC
HVAC
system.
company.
It's a
Okay.
Reznor vent.
And they say
ventilation.
Reznor on the side, so they're Vent Reznors. And all the
nice.
awesome breweries that have them have a 9 Inch Nails sticker on them, of
Yep.
course.
Nice. That's awesome.
So I appreciate that. I love the humor of the brewing community.
Absolutely.
So we've neglected to mention that there's also food on the table.
It's not that we didn't neglect. I was
They're-
chowing down on it
they're
before we
feeding
started.
us.
So you guys have really awesome food here. We were lucky enough, and thank you guys for having us for the Friends and Family Night.
Sure.
Before you guys opened.
Thank you for coming.
The food that was there was awesome. The pork sliders were great. The deconstructed hoagie was awesome. I didn't know you guys were going to do a charcuterie board.
Yeah, so we just put that out. Yeah,
Just added that like last week. so,
Awesome.
yeah.
Very nice.
Charcuterie boards pair very nicely with beer.
They
Yes,
do.
they do. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yes, we have like Tesco ham and some different sausages, brie, apples. What else do we have on there? Grapes, baguette. Really nice.
We have an awesome like Irish cheddar as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Irish cheddar, so,
I
yeah.
think it's all gone.
No, there's still some there.
Oh, it's on the other
I
side.
left some for everybody
Dan
else.
Dean it all?
Nice.
Yeah.
No,
I need some cheddar.
I was polite. But that mustard, is that like
It's a beer mustard. Yeah,
Perfect.
so good.
Of course, it has to be. It has to be.
So do you guys still do? You guys do like food trucks?
We haven't done any yet.
Oh, really?
With the beer garden being open, we kind of have to see what our level of busyness is in the sense
True.
that like our kitchen is relatively small, so
Right.
its ability to. But a lot of our stuff is very prep heavy,
Right.
and so it's quite quick to turn things around. Like it doesn't take a lot of time to put hummus in a bowl and send it out.
Right.
But we're testing that out to see. So, but we're in contact with a lot of the food trucks because there's obviously some really awesome food trucks in
Oh, of
Philadelphia
course.
now. So we think that we'll definitely be utilizing that at different points throughout the summer, I think. Yeah.
Definitely.
Now,
Cool.
you recently added other new foods to your menu as well, not just the charcuterie board. What else is new?
Yeah, so we changed the Sloppy Joe sliders to a little bit more of a like southern barbecue version.
Ooh.
They're really good, yeah. Like the other one was very traditional of like what you had as a kid, so quite kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Which is great, but this one I think is actually much nicer. And we also actually now do the deconstructed hoagie in as a grilled cheese.
I
So,
saw
which
that.
is really
I
cool.
need to have that before I leave.
I just kept making them make it for me, and then I was like, we should just add this to the
Do it,
menu.
yeah.
And you have some desserts as well.
Yeah, we have dessert nachos. And
What?
What are
didn't see
dessert
these?
nachos?
No.
Oh, we got to
Yeah.
get some. So basically, like think they're waffles, and the waffles are the nacho chips, and then it's like Nutella, whipped cream. Yeah, we got to get one. We got to
Oh,
get
my
one. yeah.
God.
It's
You had-
diabetes on a plate.
You had to get waffles. That's
Wow.
pretty awesome.
And we
funny.
do actually, we're working with Chacoma cookie cups. So we have a thing where you can get an 8-ounce beer paired with a Chacoma cookie cup with ice cream in it as well.
Oh,
It's
wow.
pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Do you guys plan on expanding the food or anything? I mean, I don't think you really have a whole lot of space for much more of a kitchen.
No, there's a
but-
few other items that we want to add on there. I'd love to do like a buffalo chicken dip, which would also be a good grilled
Yes,
cheese.
please.
What?
And we're testing things out. Like, I mean, we have a few items on there that like they sell, but they're not like the best sellers. But I think we're going to retain those and add a few other things and see kind of, I mean, it's been interesting over the past week to see how the charcuterie board does and how it affects like what people order in, because if you're ordering that, you're then not ordering something else. So it's kind of adding things gradually and seeing how that kind of affects the whole entire menu overall.
Who came up with the original lineup of food that you guys had?
We've been working with Brendan McGrew from Bourbon Blue out in Manayunk. So he's been our kind of kitchen consultant in that respect. So he's the man. So we actually use some of our beer, usually either Stacey's Mom or O'Dole Rules, in the hummus. Which gives it just a nice little,
That's cool. I don't think I've ever had beer, well, other than here, because we had hummus when we were here before.
The hummus is awesome.
Hummus is great. Yeah.
Now, is the stuff that's on the charcuterie board, the ingredients that you use for everything else, is any of that like locally sourced?
I'm trying to think which things. Well, some of our bread is from Philly bread.
Okay.
Some of actually, when Garrett comes and sits down and talks to you, you can ask him that question.
We'll just edit this out. Yeah.
All right. I was like,
I think
like, how about I pass the buck on that one?
Which, by the way, I got to say, when we walked in, he was wearing a vest and a tie and everything. He looks good in that. If I tried to do that, I would look like a total douchebag. So kudos to him for being able to pull that off.
Yeah, he's very well dressed.
Garrett is a smooth guy.
Yeah, seems like it.
Speaking of smooth,
is it that time?
Should we drink some more beer?
I mean, I was going to say, my glass is empty, so I think we should get a little more beer.
All right, let's do it.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
All right, so I've already forgotten what we were trying this time around. Everybody just stop.
This is Everybody Puts Dan in the Corner.
Everybody Puts Dan in the Corner. That's the unofficial name of this beer.
Yeah, so it's a Cascade hopped cream ale, so it's literally all corn. Basically, we take cream ale. Oh, here are the dessert nachos.
Oh my God.
So someone is listening.
Holy
Right.
shit.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett.
You are the man.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so basically what we do is it's all corn beer, and then we dry hop it with Cascade. So it's super citrusy, but yet 4% and absolutely
4.2?
crushable. Yeah, 4.2. I just don't.
Told you to get it wrong.
It's delicious. I really like it. And so you said this is all corn, right?
It's all corn.
It gives it like a nice lighter mouthfeel with that, while still being pretty bright and crisp.
Yeah, well, that's cream ales are just traditionally corn, right? So like we just wanted to keep it simple and keep it legit, and then we just dry hop the heck out of it. And
Yeah, it's got a really nice hop character to it. Yeah.
For 4.2, I love it because when I'm here, anyone who comes in who I know wants to have a beer with me.
Right, of course.
If I drink that escalated quickly at 11.5%, things will go downhill
Things would escalate
very, very quickly. So I love the fact that I can have this and, I can have a lot of them before I get silly drunk.
Right, yeah, definitely. Have you guys done a cream ale before?
No,
Never, no.
first time.
First one, right? Yeah. I
So
didn't
again,
think
this was John's idea. He wanted to do a dry hopped cream ale. Pretty much he likes to dry hop everything. So, which I'm totally fine with because I
why
love
not?
it.
Go
I mean,
for it.
I know you're not a super hoppy person, but
It's all good.
Yeah.
I drink pretty much anything
more or less, yeah.
when it comes to beer.
Well, I don't know about that.
Hey, I even drank the goat brain beer.
You did.
did,
And,
that's
and
right.
we had her drink brisket beer. Let's
And
not
I,
forget.
well, I
Neither of them
spit
were
that
vegan.
out.
I drank the testicle beer.
He
out
did.
in Denver.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the
nice.
Wizard
Bull
testicle beer?
testicle or whale testicle? No,
bull
Whale
testicle.
That had to be
Bull,
bull, yeah.
I
Rocky
think it's
Mountain
bull.
oysters, yeah.
Yeah, I love how we're like debating. Like it's got to be bull testicles.
Gotta be bull testicles. Of course, those are the best testicles.
Well, for a second, I was like, was it whale? I was like, do whales have testicles? I don't even know.
I guess they would, because technically they're mammals, right?
Yeah.
I guess so.
I guess so.
Don't
yeah.
they kind of have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
to reproduce?
Well, the male ones, I hope.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by Whale Balls.
Yeah. Right.
There you go. Hey, by the way, I did just see the floppy dude peek in the window.
Floppy
I know, I moved him out. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
He's so fun, dude. It's so funny. Like that's my favorite thing.
Is that his
and-
name, Floppy Dude?
The best is that it doesn't happen like constantly. It's like every once in a while.
No.
It's like,
Which side? That side?
No, the
That
little
side?
the window
You'll
there.
see him now.
Oh, yes,
Hey!
It's my favorite thing ever.
We
Like,
gotta
it never
name him.
gets old.
We got to name him by the end of the show.
Okay.
All right.
So
challenge
speaking
is
of
on.
hops, I see that you're attempting to grow a few vines out there.
Yep,
What are you
yep.
growing? Cascade?
They are actually all Cascade.
That's
Yep.
probably the easiest thing to grow in this area.
I think so too. So I think that's why they picked those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that first one has taken off. Like I mean, obviously hops do grow very quickly. Anyway, but that first one that is what 2 feet tall now, maybe even
Yeah.
more,
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
is really gone very very fast. So I mean
And
that's
typically with the first year, you don't get much at all,
Yeah.
but with Cascade, you might.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, for us,
Cascade is
it's obviously it's more aesthetics. If we get something, we might do a firkin or something with it, but we're not going to
You're
get
not
like...
going to have enough
no.
for not even a lab exclusive batch.
But people love to see stuff like that. It was funny, when we were doing the mural, the guy was doing it when we were open. People just loved watching the guy like paint. It was so funny.
That's awesome. So let's talk about, there's some very unique decorative touches here and neat little spots. Talk about the design of the space.
Yeah, so again, I would have to give our architect and contractor most of that credit, because he's the one who came up with the idea for a lot of this stuff. And
His name's Russell Mahoney, so we throw a shout out for Russell.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
What I love about our booths is that they're both intimate, but there's still a lot of space, so you don't feel, some places I've been to, the booths is kind of dark, and we get a lot of people coming here on first dates, because it's very obvious when someone's on a first date.
Clearly, they're going to get married.
They're on
if
best
they come here.
behavior, and they're like all smiling and whatever.
Yeah,
It's
they're like across the table from each other, like not leaning in. So like,
Yeah. Like sort of dressed up, sort of not.
right.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to look
Not
like
trying
you're
too
trying
hard.
too hard. Exactly.
Debating whether they should share a flight or just get their own pint.
Oh, yeah.
By the end of the night, they're sharing beers.
Of course. Well, if it goes well.
and maybe other liquids.
I just saw his whole head, by the way. That was awesome.
Oh,
I'm totally distracted now.
So funny.
Isn't it so good?
It's all your fault.
But what I love about it is that it never gets old. So every time it happens, I love it.
Have a seat,
yeah.
please.
We were talking about you earlier.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
Well, hello.
Oh,
Welcome
hi, I
to the
didn't see you
table.
come in.
Mr. Smooth is
I didn't see
Yeah.
you there.
I gave you a shout
Someone
out
was
because
just
of how
smoking.
dapper you look with your vest and tie.
Thank you.
And that I would look like a total douchebag if I tried to do that.
It's all about his personal style, you know?
In fairness, you get to do that when you don't have a tie on, though.
Well, that's true.
So, Garrett, we were told that we had to ask you about the food
Sure.
Yes.
because they don't know anything.
My
That's
specific question was,
Okay.
is anything locally sourced?
Yeah, so all of our produce is locally sourced. It's River Ward Produce, which is 4 blocks from here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they just opened up their storefront. Prior to that, they were just doing delivery. Yeah, so all of our produce is locally sourced. Everything else mostly comes from a large kind of warehouse. You know, we do a lot of things in-house as far as we make our own tuna salad. We make our own Sloppy Joe mix.
Yeah.
The pickles are done in-house as
Oh.
well. Yeah, so we do as much as we can to create it from scratch, but those scratch ingredients kind of have to come from a warehouse.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Now, when you add the bees, could you put a garden up there too?
We could,
veggies and
but
stuff?
the roof access is difficult. Is basically what it comes down to. You got to crawl
Wait,
through a hatch.
you have a ladder.
Yeah,
That I don't even know how to use properly.
Thank you, Ron.
we have a.
I didn't even have a quarter on me.
We have a forklift. We can get up there.
That is true.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
That's
go.
easier.
I feel like that's dangerous, though.
No, totally safe.
I'm driving it, maybe.
A forklift and beer, they totally mix.
Yeah.
You could just do you could rig up some sort of pulley system to get up on the roof.
A dumbwaiter.
It could be done. Yeah.
Or a smart waiter. Okay,
or-
they prefer service industry.
Or a waiter of average intelligence.
Wow.
Could be dumb waitress, too.
Sure.
Can't be sexist.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
can't
God.
But smart waitress, that's a stretch.
Oh, come on.
We have a lot of women
Deep
in
cuts.
today behind our bar,
Oh.
and they're the ones getting you beers,
That's
remember.
true. That's
Yeah,
true.
watch
That
that.
was just a joke, man.
I think he just topped you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Thanks for bailing me out, dude.
That's what I was trying to do. So I've been munching on these dessert nachos
Yeah,
that showed up.
I got to find a way to make that
somebody
happen
else
for
eat
me
some of
over
this.
there.
This is delicious.
Pass the plate to
There's
Dan.
freaking Reese's Pieces in this thing, which
Oh, yeah.
I love.
Oh, yeah.
Reese's Pieces.
They're amazing. And
Yeah, we
they're
make
not-
those in-house.
They are not Reese's Pieces.
They are actually locally sourced from Hershey, PA.
Yeah,
Or Mexico.
yeah,
Probably.
not
These are from Hershey,
yeah.
okay?
Can you hand me a fork?
Absolutely, those are really,
And a
really
napkin.
good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dan, you will love these.
Well, it was Cinco de Mayo yesterday.
Why
so not?
specifically me? Well, I love these.
Because
I
you
think-
love junk food?
You and I equally love food that is really bad for us.
That is so true.
know?
You saw what I ordered last night?
Yeah, I did.
Did you cry in the corner after you were done eating it?
No, but I was watching Three Amigos while I was eating it.
Oh, there we go.
What a great movie.
Such a good movie.
We need a beer named after something from that.
El Guapo.
I know. You need to name a beer.
We will not die like dogs. We will fight like lions.
You
There
need
you
to
go.
name a beer the actual El Guapo.
Do you know what a plethora is?
These are incredible.
Aren't they? They're so
Thank
good.
you.
They are so. I would eat all of that easily and then order another.
I kind of would too.
My stomach hurts just looking at it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, your cardiologist is thrilled.
yeah.
We like to say it's for two, but come on, let's be honest.
It's a good thing I went to the doctor yesterday.
That's not a first date dish. If you're here on a first date, don't get the dessert nachos.
Absolutely, I would.
Unless it's going really well.
Yeah.
No, if you on your first date say, hey, do you want to order the dessert nachos? And the other party says absolutely, you know it's going to work out.
Just put a ring on it right now.
True.
There's Oreo crumbles in here too.
Oh yeah.
If you're willing to share that with someone else,
Yeah.
you know that you like them a lot.
There we go. My section's done. There we go.
Your sections.
What section?
Well, I
breaking
sectioned
it
it
out.
off because I knew I would need the fork to eat it.
Right.
I didn't want to
No,
eat it.
no,
try it.
no.
No? All right, I'll eat somewhere.
No.
Whatever. You guys talk about beer. I'm going to eat these.
I can't do
Well, the
it.
question
Your mind is saying no, but your body's saying yes.
My body's
mind's-
saying hell no.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to pass one of the other beers out. Do you want to talk about
all
it?
right.
I'm going to put...
Sure, I don't know what we're doing.
It's a just keep
Just
swimming, right?
yes, just
Swimming,
keep swimming.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a cantaloupe
cantaloupe
and
beer,
spelt
yes.
saison.
Wait, cantaloupe?
Yep, it's cantaloupe.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is pretty cool. One of our bartenders actually stood in the brewery and broke down 2 cases of cantaloupe, which, if you've ever cut a cantaloupe, you can imagine how irritating it would be to do 2 cases in a row.
Oh, yeah.
So Corey stood in the brewery and cut cantaloupes for, I think it was upwards of over 2 hours.
So
And it
you're
was-
never making this beer again.
Probably not.
Oh my god. That makes me feel healthy after that because there's fruit in here.
There you go.
Because there's fruit.
Hey, Reese's Pieces are a fruit.
No, this is just.
Are they?
No.
Oh.
This is the triple IPA. Trevor handed out the
Did we
wrong
grab
beer.
the wrong one?
Oh, I still feel healthy
We're not
because
supposed to be
that's
drinking
kiwi.
the triple IPA yet.
Yeah, this is the Kiwi triple IPA.
Oh,
okay.
we grabbed the wrong one.
You hit,
Wow.
This is the wrong beer, dude.
Bro.
I couldn't hear what you said.
That's
Beer's,
the wrong
beer's
beer.
beer.
Okay, we'll just do this one then.
All right.
This is the one we were supposed to drink last.
We'll
Like
do it.
last.
Last.
Oh, at the end of the show?
Yeah.
Then why'd you sell me that?
I didn't. I said we're doing Everybody Just Stop. This is supposed to be just. But he said it's that.
This is the Kiwi triple IPA.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Should we put this to the side? You just want to get us drunk. That's the problem.
Yeah, we can maybe set this
What
one
is-
aside.
all right.
It's
This one.
it's going to destroy your palates otherwise.
Yeah, probably. Thank you.
So what's this?
Dare I ask what this one is then?
This is the cantaloupe and spelt saison.
Ah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need stop then.
I'm going to go get those.
Okay. Ooh.
This is good.
Is that your O face?
It is.
Oh. That's already beer name for a few breweries, I think.
O face? Yeah.
This is really good.
You know what's amazing is, and I know you talked about the difficulty of the cantaloupe. Cantaloupe isn't a fruit that has like a super intense flavor.
No, it's very watery.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like a step or two above honeydew, but it's not like, but you get it. And like
do.
to be able to actually get that to come through, that's
At what
that's
point in
pretty
the
awesome.
process was the cantaloupe added?
During secondary fermentation.
That makes sense. That's the only way you're
That's
going
the only way you can taste it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
otherwise
right
it's
at
all
the
going to
end.
ferment out and
Right.
Yeah.
you're going to lose all of it.
Yeah, then we made this with we got our saison yeast came from Forest and Maine Brewing Company in Ambler.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because
Good guys.
Yeah, Dan actually, or Jared Olson, his dad taught me and Trevor at Villanova. He taught us
Oh,
finance.
wow.
Yeah,
What a small world.
yeah. And he was. This is when he was like, you have to meet my son. He's brewing at Mackenzie's, and that's where he was brewing before they started Forest and Maine. So Dan, his partner, business partner, and Jared and Trevor and I and John have all been friends and sort of, for different reasons and in different ways, kind of for all this time. So they gave us a pitch of yeast, and they gave Ben Potts down 2nd District a pitch of yeast too. So it's the first time they let their house yeast out of their brewery. So
That's
we've
pretty
been
awesome.
we've been keeping it alive here and been using it to make our saisons.
So is that a once and done? Or were you able to...
Oh, we keep regrowing the
Okay.
yeast. Yeah, I mean we keep culturing it and feeding it and stuff. So the yeast is staying alive. So we have other beers too that we've been using.
Can we just appreciate the sexiness of this right now?
Yeah, the
Oh,
next
yeah.
pour that
Look
we're
at
doing,
this.
Yeah.
it looks beautiful.
It's
Sorry,
so
I was
Just to be clear, we're talking about the beer,
Yeah,
not
right.
me across from you. Right?
I think I need to take a picture
Little
of the
bit of
beer
both.
with you in the background.
I was caught up on the
That'd
fact
be
that you said
double
staying
sexy.
alive and nobody broke out into the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
There we go.
Also-
That's the picture of the day.
So
Oh, Rich, yes, definitely. Rich is now
Yeah.
trying the dessert nachos. You're going to love these. They're so good. You need to get some Reese's Pieces up in there.
Yeah, just go to town. There's another fork if you need.
Right? Aren't they so good?
So, no, we normally label all the spills on tablecloth. That's like a pile of everything that was just brought out.
Oh,
We'll just label it.
How do we label it?
Evil
Label it Evil
Genius.
Genius.
Period.
That's
Well-
all. Just Evil Genius.
I don't know about that.
Well, I meant the actual dot.
Okay.
Full stop.
Yeah, that's not red.
Wow.
We do
we're
have a
there
red ale.
already.
I've never made Wayne do. Oh boy.
Little face palm action over here.
Yep.
Wait,
She missed it.
I missed it.
It totally went over your head.
Yep.
And it
Whatever.
went odd because you're the only female at the table.
Well, no, I got that.
Oh, okay.
Anywho.
I just ignored it. Ooh, hot Cheetos. Yes. When are you going to do a hot Cheeto beer? I demand it.
I think we could do a rim of hot Cheetos. Yes, that
Now
would be
you're
the way to do
talking.
it. Yeah.
A spicy beer with a
Ooh.
rim of hot Cheetos.
A hot Cheeto rim
Make
job.
that
Just so I'm
happen.
clear that we're talking about spiciness, not temperature.
Right.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, it's me, of course.
I know. I'm just checking.
We need a pepper beer with a rim
Well,
of hot
Kevin,
Cheetos.
I was
Kevin,
going to say, speaking of pepper beer,
yep, we can pour some of that as well.
where's Kevin? Kevin Keller.
Kev Meister.
Kevin Keller.
Kevin Keller, report to the podcast.
he's in the Spiral office right now. He can't hear us.
That's fine because we have another
Just say-
beer in this
and
lineup.
while we're waiting for him, we do have
Let's talk
another
about
beer.
the sexy beer.
So, what is the sexy beer?
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Stop trying to
Oh,
make fetch
yes.
happen.
The only reason I want to drink this is because you need to talk about the name. Because there was a little bit of a tension towards your brewery.
The what?
Oh, about,
Well, with your crazy names of the beers, and I thought this would be a good one to talk about.
oh, okay.
Oh, okay. What tension? I don't know what you mean.
Was there tension?
No, attention.
Oh, I think you said tension.
I
I was
thought
like,
you
someone
said
was
tension.
Oh, yeah.
I did too. I thought there was
it was-
Attention.
Oh, I thought it was
Am I not
a
an-
tension. Oh.
So did
Am
I.
I
Yeah.
not
Enunciating.
enunciating properly?
Again, it goes back to, I mean, well, that one obviously is a direct quote. It is just, we found it really funny. And I just love the
fuck
idea
it.
called... what?
Fuck it.
And fuck them.
No, fuck it. Not him.
Oh, fuck it.
Why not?
No, they were underage. You couldn't do that.
Oh, God.
Oh
wow.
my God, this is going down.
In the movie, not in real life, I don't think.
Would it be cliche or wrong to say that escalated quickly?
Yep.
I just want to say, despite all the shenanigans, this is really good.
Thank you.
It is
Yeah.
delicious.
This is my favorite beer that we have on right now.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
This
I'm-
would be a great go-to. Yeah.
Huge fan of Irish red ales. They're a hard style to nail down.
Underappreciated.
Exactly. Yeah.
We nailed it.
You nailed it good.
I would say so.
We nailed it right in there.
You nailed it right in there.
It's got a nice maltiness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually, there's almost a little harshness to it when you first take a sip, but it actually, it's almost like your taste buds become accustomed to that and actually desiring it. As you, when you, like my cousin who is now working with us here, he just flew in a couple of days ago, so he's not a huge big beer drinker, but he's been trying all the different ones, and he had a pint of that last night, and he's like, yeah, not sure if I love that one, when he was like, 5/8 or 7/8 of the glass still in there. I said, yeah, I bet you by the time you get to the end of it, you'll be like, I might have another one, because that's kind of how people I think are with it. They taste to begin with, they're like, I'm not sure about this, but by the time they finish, they're like, actually, that's really, really good.
Yeah, like the malt sweetness at the back end really rounds it out, and every time you take another sip, it just does more and more work to it. It's really nice.
Does
Evil
more and
Genius,
more
changing
work.
hearts and minds.
Welcome to the podcast, the unofficial fourth beer buster.
No, he was fired.
Oh,
Was he?
You were fired. The
Why would
former
fire him?
unofficial fourth beer buster.
Yeah, they had to hire Paul in.
Yeah, because Paul took over for him. Sorry, Paul, I ran out of time.
We're in the middle of the show and we ran out of time.
Anyway, I'm not going to continue in that line of Kevin Keller. Welcome to the table.
Hey, Ken.
Say hi, Kev.
Hi.
How are you?
Can you hear me now?
You've done this before. Lean into the mic.
Oh, sorry.
There
You know how it works.
Sorry.
There we go.
Oh, the Canada's coming out.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
So which
Thank
one is
you.
it's this one here, Kevin?
Yeah.
Sorry, the medicine bottle.
So last night, in honor of Cinco de Mayo, we did we randled Stacy's mom through jalapenos and fresh pineapple.
Can I just say I love that phrase? We randled Stacy's mom.
Yeah.
Continue.
We did it.
Slow recovery.
Did it in honor of Steph
Because
and
I'm
her
awesome.
love for
Yes.
spicy beers.
Oh, it smells delightful.
Oh, it does smell really good. It smells like roasted pepper.
Ooh, yeah.
Doesn't it though? Like it smells like.
Sure.
I think it does.
Now, I've been to events with you before, Kevin.
Ooh, I can
And
smell the spiciness.
The Randall is something you normally... Do you always take it with you, or do you plan it out ahead of
I
time?
had to buy a second one because he always has it.
I was going to say,
I confiscated
it's,
it.
No, it's fun. We were at Love Drafts in Harrisburg. What did you do then? It was Purple Monkey Dishwasher on something.
Oh, God. That might have been coffee beans. I don't know. I use it a lot.
I think so.
Yeah, well, Kevin was driving it up and back so often. I was like, I think we should just get you one.
Driving it up and back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live out on my own little Evil Genius Island in the middle of the state, so it works out.
We joke about that. You know the way they call light beer domestics in a lot of places? I was like, because, all craft beer is made on Craft Island. Wah, wah, wah. So Kevin has his
I'll work
own
on that
island.
joke. Don't worry. I'll work on that for
So
you.
I haven't tasted it yet.
It's really, really good.
It's really
I don't know
nice.
if it has enough heat for you, Steph.
It's not super hot.
Nothing
not.
has enough heat for me.
That's true.
Ooh, it's tasty though.
It's got a nice little kick at the end of it, and like the sweetness of the pineapple really helps out. So do you come up with the Randall recipes yourself?
Sometimes.
Recipes.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, this one actually came from the six-pack shop itself. They stole it from, I think he
Borrowed?
stole it from Long Trail from a couple years ago. He had it during Pittsburgh Beer Week and really liked it, so wanted to evolve Stacy's mom into something a little bit different with the Randall in conjunction with Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, and Stacy's mom it's a solid beer that can handle this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, honestly, a lot of our beers are so versatile that we can throw different ingredients at it, and it just works really well together. So, I mean, we did, at the same spot, we did I'll Have What She's Having through cinnamon sticks, vanilla beans, cacao nibs, coffee beans, and habaneros, and did like a Mexican coffee cake version of it. So it worked out really, really well.
And you didn't save me a growler of that? Dude, I brought you taco hands. What the hell?
Sorry.
I brought you a Great Notion sticker. Dude.
I, for one, am grateful that you brought this with you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's actually quite hot. I know that.
What?
Yeah, I can
There's
feel it
no
burning
heat.
in the back of my throat.
You have
Okay? No?
No.
There's a little bit. I mean, it's not.
Nothing much.
I just can't really do spice.
Wait, Trevor?
Yeah?
Are you a pussy?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
When it comes to spice, I love it. The rest of my body does not.
It's
Trevor
all right.
also doesn't eat pickles. I want to clarify
Wait,
that
wait.
so that we
I
all
also-
are very clear.
I do not eat pickles.
Wait.
I'm done here.
This is
Do you not like
pickles
them?
are like an American thing, though. Like, so you have to remember that. I'm not from here.
Yeah, well,
where are
Luke
you from?
reminded us of that.
I know, right?
He's from Craft Island.
Yep. I live on Craft Island. I make all the beers.
I love that you're even wearing green, by the way.
Yeah, I love this T-shirt.
It is awesome.
We got these printed for St. Patrick's Day, and then we sold like 3 of them.
Nice.
So we have lots of T-shirts for next year, but I actually like the green. I'm
No,
gonna
I
do
like
red
the-
soon.
Green's cool.
I'm gonna do red soon.
I mean, if you have extras, I got my credit
No,
card.
here's what you do. You spill beer on yourself.
Oh, that's true.
And then you
yeah.
get a free t-shirt.
See, but if
You have to be really drunk first, though.
if I spill beer on myself, it's a Beer Buster shirt. I like that's kind of cheating almost.
Yeah, well, just saying. I told you the trick.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Poor Steph.
As we're reminiscing.
Which, on an unrelated note, I actually do not own an Evil Genius T-shirt.
What?
I know.
I had 2, but
we
I
will
think I
fix that
gave you
today.
one of them, right?
I think you did, yeah.
We will fix that today.
I have one.
So what's the game?
Yeah.
So I just have to put Kevin's name in place of Luke. And,
Okay.
Luke rage quit this shit.
Yeah, he's like, he's like, I have more important people to talk to.
Can I hit the button now?
Yeah,
All right. Hey, Wayne, what do we got on Happy Fun Time Game?
Cheers, the internet and the IRL audience as well. And welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the only podcast trivia segment that always shoots first. Today, we are in honor of the many, many past appearances of Evil Genius on the podcast.
Did we actually count, by the way?
Well, okay, so we have done 5 episodes that have been exclusively Evil Genius.
Yes.
Not counting festivals and things where other people have been on from
Right.
Evil Genius, but 5 core Evil Genius episodes. One of those was the scavenger hunt we did for Philly Beer Week.
Yes.
Cool. In which we played a whole bunch of Happy Fun Time
That was a lot of
games
fun.
That was a lot of fun.
The scavenger hunter. So what I've done is I've taken the other 4 episodes, that would be 7, 14, 26, and 53.
Yes.
And I have one question in the style of each game that we've played on those different podcasts.
Oh.
So these aren't questions from those episodes, but they're
Okay.
the
Yeah,
games
I was getting
that we-
scared there for a
could've
second. You were
been.
going to ask me what I said on
What
those.
did you say on episode 7?
None of us would remember.
In the summer of 2013. But no, so we played different games there. So I'm going to do a question
And by the way,
from each game.
What Trevor wrote on the tablecloth from April 2014 is right here.
What did I say?
I'll never think of Rome the same way again.
Oh, wow. I
Steph.
remember that.
Because I remember you quoted me, and I'm like, you didn't even sign your name. I remember that.
Well, let's begin. So, when Luke and Trevor appeared for the first episode...
7.
That they were on episode 7.
110 episodes ago.
110 episodes ago, a Brew Good Men. It was the first time that we played Years of Beers.
That's about the reaction I expected when I thought of it.
That was the first episode we ever played Years of Beers, which is a game in which you must guess the year in which a pivotal moment in beer history happened.
Garrett will be good at this.
We don't play it much anymore because, frankly, it's not that great.
Wait, what? I missed it. What is it?
Years of Beers.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's kind of meh. But anyway, I have a really good one for today. So this
Way
is
to
one,
sell it.
This is 1 Years of Beer question.
One.
Do we get buzzers?
No, we're going to go in order. Everybody's going to give a guess. So we're going to start to my left with Steph.
Hey!
Yeah,
Oh, shit, I sound
Because
the wrong
I'm put in the corner.
yes, because
Everybody puts Dan in
Dan
the corner.
is in the corner. So, Steph, in what year did the town of Lajitas, Texas, elect a beer-drinking goat as mayor?
Oh, God.
Seriously?
In some weird way, I think I actually know this, but I can't think of it.
Seriously.
Well, I'm just glad they didn't elect a non-beer drinking goat.
I
That's
feel
true.
like
That's
that
the
has
worst
to
kind
be
of goat.
pretty recently.
That would have been horrible. How recently is the question?
I'm going to say 1990. I don't know.
1990, says Steph. Kevin, what do you think?
1975.
1975, says Kevin. Moving over to Trevor. What's your guess?
2006.
2006, and finally Dan.
Ooh, I was going to say earlier, but I don't know. That sounds like a millennial kind of thing.
Sounds like a millennial kind of
Wow.
thing. That's funny.
I'll go with my gut. I'm going to say 1954.
1954. The closest is Steph,
Sweet.
because it was actually 1986.
Ah!
Yes.
I guess we're not doing closest without going over then.
No, just the closest. So, belonging to the Lajitas Trading Post and at the Lajitas Golf Resort and Spa, Clay Henry, the GOAT, rose to fame in the 1970s when locals discovered his love for beer. When some Houston businessmen who own the resort, which was basically the only reason that the town was even on the map, tried to install one of their own as mayor, Lajitas citizens responded by electing GOAT of the People, Clay Henry, to the office
Goat
instead.
of the people.
Wow.
Yes. Since then, the government GOAT dynasty continued with a sordid history enough to rival the Kennedys. The original Clay Henry was killed by his own son, Clay Henry Jr., in a drunken, jealous rage, who then took on the mantle of mayor. By the early 2000s, Clay Henry III was in office, another GOAT, but his tenure was marked by an incident in which he was castrated by, and I'm not making this up, Jim Bob Hargrove. Jim Bob was subsequently faced with state felony charges. Several years went by in which a Henry GOAT was not the mayor. However, Clay Moore Henry was elected mayor, restoring the dynasty to power in 2014. The original...
I said okay.
The original...
You're still talking.
I am. There's a lot to the story. It's a really good story. The original Clay Henry is now stuffed and mounted at the Terlinga Trading Post.
Ooh. He's probably the only stuffed and mounted mayor ever.
Probably.
Well, I don't know. Rob Ford.
I'd say a lot of mayors get mountains.
And stuffed. Actually. Now that you mentioned
Some of them,
it.
yeah.
Now that you mentioned it.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on for Evil
You
Geniuses.
let us down that one there. You set that up. That
all
was
my
way
fault.
too easy.
I
For
was like
Evil
spilling
Genius'
beer all
second
over myself.
appearance on the podcast, which was episode 14, See No Evil Beer, No Evil Genius. We played everyone's favorite Happy Fun Time game, Libation or Fabrication, in which I give the name of a beer, and you must tell me whether that beer is real or fake. Kevin, is this real or fake? Rocket Fuel Malt Liquor.
Real.
Kevin is saying that is real. Trevor, what do you think?
I think that's real.
Trevor also saying that's real. Dan?
Luke, what do you think?
Sorry?
Just say real or fake.
What?
Oh, I was hoping he would just say real or fake.
Fake.
There you
Luke's
go.
saying it's fake, Dan.
I'll go real.
Dan is going real. Finally, Steph.
I don't know that they would approve that beer name, so I'm going to say fake.
Going to say fake. Everybody is correct.
Oh, wait, did we all say fake?
No.
So how are we all correct?
Because it is a real fake beer.
Fake news.
Oh.
It appeared in 1997 on the TV show News Radio, starring the late, great Phil Hartman.
I love that show, by the way.
Yes. His character in that show, Bill McNeil, reads live ad spots for Rocket Fuel Malt Liquor, a libation that has, quote, that upstate prison flavor that will keep you ugly all night long. Yes. Rocket Fuel Malt Liquor, a real fake beer. Moving on, and this is going to be our third and final question of the game because this one has gone kind of long. In episode 26, entitled Motley Brew, we played a rather obscure game with the Evil Geniuses called Jingle Beers.
Oh, yeah.
In which you must guess what beer a given jingle or slogan is for. And we're going to start with different people at the table now. We're going to start now with Trevor.
Okay.
What beer is this slogan for? The beer's so good, it's bad. Is it Seriously Bad Elf, Bad Frog, or Billy's Badass Brown?
I'm going to go with Billy's Badass Brown.
All right, going with C, Billy's Badass Brown.
What are we thinking?
The slogan, the beer so good, it's bad, is for what beer?
Is for what beer?
Seriously Bad Elf,
Okay.
Bad Frog, or Billy's Badass Brown.
I'm not going to remember it. They have to go next anyway.
Yeah. So Luke, you're not Luke. What's your guess?
I'm going with A.
Going with A, Seriously Bad Elf. Dan.
I'll go with B. There was a frog, right?
There was Bad Frog.
Something a bit of frog.
Of course.
A little bit of frog. Steph.
Then I'll say C.
All right, Steph
Whatever
is
that
saying
was.
C, Billy's Badass Brown. And finally, Kevin.
I'll go A.
Going A.
Wouldn't you now?
Seriously.
Yeah, wouldn't you know?
The only one who was correct was Dan.
No way.
It was Bad Frog. It was Bad Frog beer.
He was very delicate in answering that. He's like, yeah, the frog one?
Yeah.
Pretty sure
There's a frog in that, right?
I think there was a frog one. It was definitely the frog one. Bad Frog Beer was founded by Jim Waldron, a former graphic designer and advertising business owner. He created a line of animal-themed T-shirts in the late 90s. He was called out for his frog design being too wimpy next to the jaguars, bears, and tigers that also featured in the lineup.
Oh, my.
Yes. So he redesigned the frog to be more badass. Eventually, the company started printing T-shirts with the fictitious Bad Frog beer, and people started asking for the actual beer, which didn't exist. So he did what any reasonable person would do and opened a brewery and began mass-producing a subpar lager that was only really good for cashing in on the marketability of the popular Bad Frog.
Yay, capitalism.
Is that actually the Wikipedia? It says subpar lager.
No, I that was my own editorial. So that's
probably like a Brewers Association, subcategory of lager called subpar lager.
Subpar lager, yeah. Adjunct lager, subpar lager. All right, so that's the end of the game. We're going to add up the points real quick here. And so here's what we have, ladies and gentlemen.
Do we have it?
We have Steph and Dan.
Whoa.
Yes, Team Beer Busters tied in first place.
Yeah.
With 1 point apiece. Everyone else has a German Sparkle Party.
I like German Sparkle Party.
With 1 point apiece.
All right.
And I'm not sure how that doles out because like 3 people came in and left during the game. So
yeah.
But we're all winners at Evil Genius.
It's always fun when there's the German Sparkle Party.
Always love the German Sparkle Party. If you like German Sparkle Parties,
and
you can go to patreon.com/beerbusters to become a patron of the podcast and help support the show. If you donate at a generous enough level, you can get your name read out on the podcast. People like Wolfgang von Colt, Victoria Miles, Oak Brook Brewing Company, the one and only That's No Baloney, Joe Mansell.
The one and only That's No Baloney.
Ron McDonald, who is in the house this evening, and 2 new patrons that have been generous. We have Marilyn Engelman, who we may or may not know,
sort of,
and Josh Price.
Hey.
So thanks, guys, for being awesome and supporting the podcast. So remember, patreon.com/beerbusters.
And just remember, one of those rewards will be Steph wearing her Chewbacca onesie at one or all of our future recordings. Who knows? To be determined. $50 a month, you could see Steph wear a Chewbacca onesie. And now that I have that evil stare in my eye,
Your beers.
No, your beers.
Steph had to go to the bathroom, so Rich is sitting in. Rich, what do we got?
We got a story about muling beer today for the Know Your Beers.
Muling. How do you spell muling, Rich?
Well, there's a couple spellings to it. You could do M-U-H-L or M-U-L-E, apparently. Who knew? Go Mules.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a new way to make a living and you're tired of swallowing balloons filled with illegal drugs or smuggling exotic pets in your sphincter, then maybe beer muling is for you. For those of you not in the know, beer muling
smuggle
is
exotic beers in your sphincter instead.
That's true.
Thank you, John Stemler.
That's true. At least they're not alive. I mean, the gerbils hurt. For those of you not in the know, beer muling is the art of traveling, usually driving, but sometimes using other methods of transportation to breweries and bringing back those oh-so-hard-to-get and very desired beers for people. First, before you start your muling, you should know your clientele and also know your beers. What are the beers that the people want? If you aren't sure, don't be afraid of social media. Facebook and Instagram are great places to start. Look at what people are talking about and look at brewery pages to see what releases they have coming up. Then you plan your trek accordingly. If you can hit a few places on one trip, that is optimal. You also might want to consider what vehicle you are taking. Will the smart car do, or will you need to rent a U-Haul for all those cases that you will be bringing back? Those are just some things to consider. Just like in any highly dangerous and secretive underground world, there are some key code words to try and stay ahead of the law.
BBW.
ISO, in search of, used as a prefix with the name of the beer you're trying to track down. FT, for trade, you've got a bottle that you want to swap. $sign for $sign, dollar for dollar, meaning that you're looking to get roughly equivalent dollar value in return, as opposed to an intentionally lopsided trade motivated by extreme scarcity or sentiment, whatever. A whale, a coveted bottle worth chasing after, like, a Moby Dick. A shelf turd, the opposite, a common bottle that's widely distributed and therefore not valuable for muling. BA, if it's not referring to Beer Advocate, that stands for barrel-aged. And a drain pour is a beer so bad that the recipient literally pours it out instead of finishing it. If you give someone one of those, you better go into hiding until things blow over. Remember, availability is the driving force of the marketplace. No one is excited about beers they can already buy themselves, so going for the whales is the best way to make a living. What makes a beer mulable? Sometimes it's simply because you can only get it in one state and someone wants to try it. Other times the brewery makes such a small amount that there could never be enough of it. Some of the beers that are highly mulable are only sold at the brewery. If you are muling IPAs, you want to make sure you get them out of your hands faster than they came in.
Out of your hands, in quotes.
If you want to get your mule ranking high, the fresher the better. For muling beers, the early bird always gets the worm, and the earlier the more worms. That's right, if you have the luxury of being able to wait in line for hours a day or lucky enough to win some raffles, you might get your hands on some pretty awesome bottles. Once you get your valuable beer, for example, Purple Monkey Dishwasher, you need to load up with as much as you can get and find the customers ready to pay for your valuable payment. With all the tip money you make upon delivery, you will soon find yourself living the life of luxury, traveling the world in your 200-foot yacht. So for now, beer wishes and chicken wing dreams.
Chicken wing dreams.
Nice.
Oh, there has been no better sign-off for that ever.
Yes. Thank you, DD intern and producer Rich.
You're welcome.
Back by popular demand for Know Your Beers.
So I think we've been open for 9 weeks. I've seen some crazy stuff in here. I've never seen someone stack a piece of baguette as high as you have right now.
Oh my God.
Well, is that everything on the plate except for the grape?
Except for the other meat.
Chorizo.
Throw a grape on top.
Chorizo on there.
Put a grape on there.
No, there was
ham.
what was the other? Salami.
Salami. Yeah, I ate that. Sorry.
That's cool.
So Wayne, you and I are going to outlive Dan.
Probably.
Well, yeah. I mean,
well, maybe not.
Well, I don't know. Possibly.
I'm living to 105, so
Probably. That's probably true.
So I know that you guys talked a little bit about the LED lights in here.
We did, yes.
So my go-to joke when talking about the lights during our tours is that we have to change them every 15 years, which means that I have to change them 2 more times, and then I can retire.
But
nice. That's about how I think about it. Nice. That second time comes around, we got to start thinking about it.
Yep.
Just put it on your plate now, so it's in your mind.
I don't know. I think we can get a few extra years out of you.
That was amazing, by the way.
Was it really good? Everything
real-
on the charcuterie board together.
With the honey on top, it was perfect.
Oh my god!
So eventually that will become the honey that we actually produce on site.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. That'd be great. Absolutely awesome.
Well, there's a lot that's happening.
There is.
I don't know where to go from here.
More beer?
I believe it's
I mean,
time
we could
for-
do more beer. We're at a brewery, after all.
Hey.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight.
There's more beer.
There is more
There's
beer.
always more beer.
One more waffle nacho. A couple more grapes.
But
one
no more toppings.
It's true.
Unless you just
you could slop it around. Yeah, of course, you have to. But
slopping it around.
Is that the title of this episode?
Oh, that's a good title.
Episode 117.
Slopping it around.
No, I like click, click, twist, twist, twist.
Click, click, twist, twist, twist. That was a good one.
But there are 2 other beers currently, right?
I think somebody also said, I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out early on. I think that's a good title as well.
Probably.
There's 3, but you drank it the third one
that's
already.
right. That's why I only have 2.
I'll share because I'm already a little tipsy.
I did, yeah.
Holy jeez.
It was here and it was beer, so...
Gee golly willikers, Dan.
Gee golly willikers. What beer are we supposed to start with this time around?
We're going to start with the goggles. They do nothing.
We're going Dark Delight.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Zigagos.
They do nothing.
Oh my god, I love that episode.
I also
is that
make
from?
people
I actually don't-
Simpsons.
Is
Of course,
from
it's Simpsons.
Simpsons?
Radioactive Man episode.
Jiminy Jillikers, Radioactive Man.
Zigagos.
The first time I ever had this was the Friends and Family Night.
Yeah,
I believe that
same
was
here.
the first time I had it as well.
9.2%. We use 60 pounds of maple syrup in this.
Holy crap.
Wow.
So it actually hides the alcohol in a dangerous way.
It really hides it.
Like, as in you could drink you could drink pints of this and not realize, and then just be Steph.
We've had it's Steph like Steph right now. We have had tons of beers on this podcast. We're like, oh, you don't taste the alcohol. You don't taste the alcohol. This one really, you don't.
For
taste the
9.2?
alcohol. Yeah.
For 9.2, no. There's a little bit of heat in the very, 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 very back end of it.
No,
but
I don't get heat, but I feel like the sweet, that malt sweetness
maybe that's
is
what
like
it is.
this might
whenever
be
you get
boozy.
like that strong, sweet malt character, you're like, okay,
it's
there's
suspicious.
Yeah, there are a lot of fermentable sugars went into this.
So what's
A
really
lot of
interesting that is that we, it is kind of a traditional color for a barley wine.
Mm-hmm.
However, we actually brewed it much lighter than this to be different in a way. But when we added the maple syrup, it darkened it up substantially. So
Right.
kind of glad we actually brewed it lighter because it would have been really dark, I think, otherwise.
It would have
So,
been like opaque. Yeah.
Yep.
It was a really nice color.
It's funny because this is the type of beer where this does really well here. People love drinking it, but it is not a beer that I think, as a style in general, that sells well in the market. Like, you don't go and pick up a 6-pack of barley wine on a Friday night.
Like, if I can do a mixed 6-pack, I'll get one.
Sure.
But you're right, you don't get a 6-pack of this.
And you don't see a lot of barley wines.
No, you would
packaged
buy
that
it in
way.
a bomber
Yeah.
bottle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But how often would you do that as well?
Well, I don't really like barley wine, so probably never. But people that like barley wines all the time.
Yeah, well, I guess I feel like that's a very small segment. Whereas for here, we sell a lot of this, I think, through our flights because people want to try different things. But
Yeah.
we've gone through for a 9.2% beer. I thought we were going to be like, we're going to have this for 6 months, which is fine because it's 9.2, so it doesn't get old the way like an IPA would. But we've gone through a lot of this beer. We're down to, I think, 3 or 4 barrels out of 50.
But you are also in Philadelphia, where people like to get drunk.
Oh, yeah.
that is so true.
Philadelphians are absolutely alcoholics. No doubt in my mind. Since I opened this place, I was like, okay, you guys just love drinking all the time. Is that right, Kevin?
Absolutely.
No, this is tasty. I love it. And you get the maple syrup.
Yep.
It's just well done.
Lancaster County maple syrup, local.
Out there on Craft Beer
Nice.
Island.
Wait, what happened?
The opinion.
Eyes, the goggles do nothing.
He's been working on that for the last 5 minutes.
I know.
I was wondering what was going on over there.
No, this beer did. So for Pittsburgh and Harrisburg Beer Week, I stole 2 kegs, borrowed 2 kegs, and sent it out to a couple accounts where we did events. We actually did a wing sauce with this
really?
beer. It was a maple bourbon bacon sauce.
I saw your post about that, and my mouth watered.
Yeah, it was delicious. And overall, just the response
bacon.
behind it went really, really positive. It's just different. You don't see a lot of barley wines out on tap. I mean, the most popular one, which kind of lost a little bit of notoriety as of late, was Bourbon County's barley wine. You just don't see them out there, and it's kind of a forgotten style
I don't know.
in the mass market.
Kate May makes a killer barley wine
Yeah.
when we
Oh, yeah?
recorded. That's probably the most memorable one we've had on the show recently-ish. Until today, of course.
No, they make
Well,
great beers there, though.
I really, really, really like this beer.
No, but I appreciate
It's really
the extra dimension that the maple syrup brings to the beer, because I feel like a lot of times those types of ingredients are added to beers, and it's great, but I don't know, it doesn't do much for the beer. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I feel like the
I think I know
maple
what you're
syrup in
saying,
this
yeah.
beer
Yeah.
adds something
It's just
meaningful.
added
Like
to,
it
like-
was really thoughtfully added, and
It's not just added
And
to
I
be
think
like
that's something
in the
that John is
description.
really good at. Is like, it's not a case of he's like, oh, I really want to use maple syrup in something. He's like, okay, I'm doing a barley wine. What's going to go really well in there? And he came with the idea of obviously the maple syrup, and it's really interesting to use some of these different flavors and things like. We don't have it on tap anymore. It was the Ermagerd raspberries.
Oh my god, that was so good.
Like it looked like a murder scene when he put the raspberries in there because it was like foaming out of the top. I knew it was never. It was not going to last long, Dan. That last. That plate is going to disintegrate if you keep scraping
Slopping it around.
Slopping it around.
It's going to compost into his hands.
The dregs of the
That's
dessert
like the name of my
nachos.
shitty sitcom, Slopping Around.
Oh, it can be you living with a prostitute.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Back in the 90s.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Ermagerd.
Oh, Ermagerd.
All right, so moving on from the barley wine.
So,
Yes, so moving on from the barley wine, we have
So this
This
one
has
time
your-
at Bandcamp.
this has
which
your
is
favorite
our-
hop in it.
So this is a beer we've made twice before for distribution. Last year we did it, I think it was all Simcoe. Then this year we used Mosaic and... Nope, just Mosaic this year. And then we just...
It says Citra in Simcoe.
That's the one in-house here. So when we
Oh,
did for distribution
sorry.
in January, it was Mosaic. And then we wanted to... The idea of that beer since inception was that every time we make it, we'll make it with different hops.
Right.
We were brewing something quite similar to that style. We're like, let's make it a Bandcamp and our own version of it. So Simcoe and Citra.
Nice.
Actually, it's surprising for a beer that's relatively big, being 8%, how much we sell of this here.
Wow. It's got a really nice, like a pineapple type of quality
Tropical,
to it.
yeah. For sure.
But then it like has a little dankness in the background as well. It's really
I get
nice.
that pineapple, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The first time I had this beer was at another Beer Week event, and I thought they mixed up the kegs when I tried it because I was like, "Whoa, this!" I never expected like that, really nice tropical fruit flavors to come out of it, and it works so well.
I get
with-
papaya.
Yeah.
I see that too, yeah.
You see it?
I
Your
see it.
eyes are amazing.
My eyes are amazing.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I guess our last beer is That Escalated Quickly, 11.5%, triple IPA
With kiwi.
with kiwi.
Ooh.
Steph, you need to finish.
I'm
that.
not prosting you. I'm
Carefully
handing it to Dan.
handcrafted by
I thought
Garrett
you were roasting me.
in-house. Garrett chopped up all of the kiwis to put in there.
That's probably a lot because they're not big.
It was a lot of kiwis, yes.
And you got to take the skin off.
Oh, I'm not saying it was a good job. I'm just saying he did it.
No, I'm sympathizing with him right
No,
now.
there's skin in here. I can taste it.
But again, it kind of does hide the...
I was actually...
You know what? It's funny about this beer. The first night it went on, I had a glass of this... I had the 8-ounce glass.
Okay.
And I kind of struggled with it, I'll be honest with you, because there was a lot of heat to it. It has mellowed out so much in the past 2 weeks.
I was going to say, though, I don't think this one hides it as well as the others, because when
No.
I took that first sip, I was like, whoa, okay, yeah.
I think it's hiding it for me because of all of the other beers.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is also the reason why I want to leave this to last, because I'm like, we drink this to begin with, we're not going to taste anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I drank mine and I'm all right.
That's what you think.
That's what you
Yeah.
think. It's a lot. Like, I feel like
It is a lot.
it's bold. Like, I was just going to say, I don't think I could drink a pint of this, but you probably shouldn't because it's 11%.
We don't actually serve it in pints.
You probably shouldn't even serve it in
It's like
pints. Yeah.
13 ounces is the max with
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one.
And even that would be
That's
like...
almost a pint, dude.
3 ounces
It's
short of
3
one.
ounces
Yeah.
away.
but that, like...
we
you're
will
a
not
teacher.
serve that in a pint. We only serve it in 13 ounces. I'm like, really? I feel like 10 ounces maybe would be better.
I don't
Yeah.
have glasses that size, though.
Oh, well.
See,
They
what
put it
is
in a
nice about
13
here
ounce,
is that
but
we
they
have
just don't fill it all the way.
virtually everything except for very high ABVs comes in 4, 8, 16, and 20 ounces.
Right.
So people have that ability to try things and do smaller glasses. And the 8 ounces actually work out really well. I love drinking things in 8 ounces.
Yeah.
It's enough to appreciate the beer.
Exactly.
But not too much that you can go drink other stuff.
Right.
Yep.
I agree. It's a good size.
This is really nice, but it after I think once you hit that 10-ounce mark, it would be a bit of a slog. Like, oh man.
Well, and we've also had a lot of other
Yeah.
beers. I mean,
This could make
if
you
it's
sloppy.
the beer you have,
Right, Dan?
That's right. It'll make you slop around.
Slop around.
Slopping around.
slop around.
Slopping the base.
With Dan Baker.
I got the kiwi kind of complements that heat a little bit, though.
It's kind of in the very back end for
It
me.
comes
the
in
kiwi.
at the end,
It's subtle, but it's very obviously kiwi too.
Where the heat would normally linger a little bit, you get that kiwi, and then it helps to kind of dissipate a little bit.
Yeah, I get the super hop bitterness character right in the front, and then it's like, oh boy, there's a lot of alcohol in here, and then it's like, ooh, kiwi.
Ooh,
That's
kiwi.
sort of the flavor curve of that one. 11%.
Yep.
11.5.
Don't forget the half.
Don't forget the half.
That's where it gets you.
Yeah, that's the half that gets you.
Is it though?
Depends which half.
It's true.
Bottom half will definitely get you.
Yeah. Bottom half, back half.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here we are, 4 years in the making. So seriously, if you're listening to this and you've never been to Evil Genius, granted you guys have only been open, what did you say earlier, 9 weeks?
This is
was
our
it?
9th week.
9 weeks? Okay. You still have an excuse for a little bit, but you got to get down to this spot. You have to. It's in Fishtown. It's easy to get to. If you're not from the area, I mean, there's street parking outside, or if you come down for, a gambling trip and you go to the friggin' Sugar House,
Not far.
Not far from here at all. I didn't realize how close you guys were to that.
Close to Memphis Tap Room.
Very close to Memphis Tap Room. Very
Fillmore.
close to the Fillmore, yes. Seen many a concert there as of now.
Frankfurt Hall.
Frankfurt Hall. We were
I
talking
saw
about
the
the way over.
Menzingers there.
Did see the Menzingers there with me,
I did.
courtesy of Why Not Radio.
Yes.
Bottle Bar East.
Shameless plug. Bottle Bar East. There's a lot of cool stuff, but quite possibly the coolest in this neighborhood is Evil Genius.
Thank you. And we have a lot of really cool things happening during Beer Week. I think you guys are going to be involved in one of them.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
Oh,
Breaking news.
tell more.
You don't know?
No, I do.
I was like, you look like
We're
very
doing the
perplexed
scavenger
there.
hunt again, right?
It's like,
Yes,
wait.
I can't wait.
We talked about this
Trevor needs to provide more
earlier today.
details,
I
but
know.
yes.
Trevor needs to create more details.
Well, the way the recording schedule's gone, this will probably be out that week.
True, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But of course, it's just amazing to see the hard work and dedication has gone into opening this spot, and everything that's happened along the way, the evolution from Evil Eye and the Siren and Hunchback and all of those early on beers.
You're making me wince when you say those names.
No.
Those are so terrible.
It's a fond memory. No, the beers were good. But just to see the evolution you guys have had into, Purple Monkey Dishwasher and I Love Lamp, and going into Bruce Willis Was Dead the Whole Time, and changing the gardens. What else do I see over there? And It Don't Stop. What is that?
That is, I guess it's from some song. John brewed that with the guy who did our mural.
Oh, cool.
His name's Tully. And they put rocks and a tree in the mash.
It's like a super saison or
Yep.
something like that.
Super Saison.
Nice.
I'm like, as I said earlier,
The next
we give
series from
John
Marvel,
pretty
Super Saison.
carte blanche in what he wants to brew within reason. But he's like, yeah, we're going to put a whole tree in there. I'm like, okay, you're the one who wants to clean it out, so
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
That is very true. But it's really cool to see everything that's led up to this.
And I have to say, it's been worth the wait.
Absolutely.
It's been
Definitely.
worth the
It
wait.
guys.
seemed like it would be forever, and it went.
It felt
by.
like forever.
I can imagine from your perspective. It's so worth it, though. You guys have such a cool spot here. You still have the same attitude that you did and same determination that you did when we first met you 4 years ago. And it's awesome to see. You guys deserve
Dan is
all of the
gushing.
success. And it's just awesome
Thank
to
you,
see.
guys.
I mean, thank you for taking a chance on us way back in the day. We were this little beer podcast. We're like, yeah, let's do
I
it.
was like, let's go get drunk for an evening with these random people. we
Yeah,
don't know.
random people we've
Let's-
never met.
As they walk us down into their basement, yeah, we're not going to die here.
And then we turn the lights
Turn the
off.
lights
All
off.
right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
sexy.
Do you ever record there anymore?
Every now and then.
once in a
We
while.
did twice this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
But rarely at this point.
Rarely. Yeah, we're
Rarely.
mostly on the
I
go.
mean, on site, I think is probably is cooler.
Oh, yeah, it's so much better. Yeah.
And they get to see all the cool crowd, and not everybody puts this on their PA system, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, we have this hookup. I was like, and you, I think, thought was going to be like super complicated.
I thought it was going to be like another board that I have to feed into, and like, do I do a stereo out into that or what? No, it's XLR.
Our audio guy who did all this actually set us up very well in that respect.
You just plug and play.
Good. It's super. Yeah, this was
Hey,
super
we got
easy.
to see Trevor on a ladder, so
We did.
Doesn't happen that often.
it was worth it.
It was pretty nice.
Almost courtesy of Ron for actually getting the ladder
Yeah,
open
the
for you.
ladder would not have worked
And
without
thank
Ron.
you for the lend of the quarter.
Well, yeah, Ron.
That was
thank you.
Ron,
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Exactly.
Ron is the man. He's always there for that. But, I mean, really, kudos on everything. Congratulations
Thank
to
you
you
very
guys.
much, guys. We love you guys so much, and we love being on the show.
We love you guys.
Aww.
And Kevin, I guess we kind of like you, too.
Oh, hey, guys.
Aw.
Oh, hey, guys. Yeah.
Oh, you
Forgot I was here.
Of course you did. You're just like, God damn it, get me out of here. Well, I do need to again thank Audible for their support. audibletrial.com/beerbusters, where you can sign up for your very own 30-day trial of an Audible account where you get to download, listen to, and keep. It's yours forever in the cloud. You can't get rid of that shit. Audiobook from audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
Nothing dies on the internet.
Nothing dies on the internet. That's
Hey,
true.
why don't you also go to patreon.com/beerbusters, patreon.com/beerbusters, and sign up to become a patron of the podcast, where you get to get cool behind-the-scenes perks, and you'll get to hear, we are recording this very evening, a special bonus segment of tonight's podcast just for our patrons. We're going to try and do more of this special bonus content exclusively for our patrons, so sign up for that. And hey, if you're not a patron and you're kind of on the fence, shoot us an email.
What do you want to see?
Give us a message on Facebook, info@beerbusterspodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter. Tell us what would make you compelled to become a patron of the podcast. What kind of reward within reason would you like to see?
I would wear the onesie, just saying. It's probably a little big on me now, but
Stuff will wear the onesie. Well, that makes it that much better.
I want a Beer Busters pinup calendar of just Dan and Wayne.
That sounds
I would
great.
do it.
We
I
could
would do it.
I'll be the photographer.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, we could do that.
Throw Rich in there for December.
Nice.
Just because.
Just for December, of course.
All right. You heard it here
It's-
first, folks.
You did. And it's a serious
There goes the bald
conversation
one,
that we've had between all of us. You know, what do we do for more special content? Because we want to make it enticing. We want to give you something that makes it worth being a patron of the show. So make sure you go to patreon.com/beerbusters. Donate whatever amount you see fit.
Hit the button, Dan.
You're
I know.
really far ahead.
Hit the motherfucking button.
Wow.
Unfortunately, my friends.
Unfortunately, this brings us to the end of a very long-awaited episode of Beer Busters. And it's been a hell of a time, and I will probably be a fixture here by some point. I mean, you guys, it's a 20-minute drive
Get
from my
ready,
house.
Philly Uber.
Yeah, get ready, Philly Uber. Come on.
Or Lyft.
Or Lyft. You can always do Lyft. Or, SEPTA. Don't do SEPTA. I mean, SEPTA, it's always fun. Whatever.
It's not that hard. How hard is it for you to get here public transportation? So,
Not hard at all.
Might take like 45 minutes.
At the most.
Anyway,
Really? Oh
yeah.
my god, that's disgusting.
At
It
the
is.
most.
Well,
So no whale testicles were harmed in the making of this episode, and my name is Steph
Dan,
Heffer.
Steph, Wayne. See ya.
I mean, I gotta.
Bye. We're done. Turn it off. We're done.
Are we?
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Bye, bye, bye.